Hey everyone, welcome back to part 3 of our series, Not What I Expected. And today we're talking about the place. This place is not what I expected. This place I'm in, God, is not what I expected. We've been going through the story of the Nativity. We've talked about Mary and Joseph. We talked about the shepherds and the angels. And today we're going to talk about the place where Jesus was born. But before we get there, I want you to just challenge you and to just turn on your imagination for a minute. I want you to think about the dirtiest, smelliest, yuckiest, ugliest place you've ever been to. What is it? Maybe you can name it at this moment or you can comment below. But for me, one of those moments was when I was working at summer camp in Texas. I was tasked when one of my first 2 summers that I was working there to work at the barn. I remember showing up in my shorts, basketball shorts and basketball shoes, showing up to the barn and the barn staff looking at me and saying, "This is not the way." So headed off to Walmart, got a couple of pair of jeans to work, got some boots, and showed up to get to work. And for 2 summers, I worked with the horses in the barn. And I can tell you, man, that is a smelly job. You look around, you have hay everywhere. There's poop that you have to clean and throw out. There's mud, it's dirty, it's smelly. You obviously get to, the more you're in there, you just get normal. It becomes more normal and you get used to it. But it is a dirty job. You get back to it, you get farmer's tan and your jeans get all dirty, your boots get dirty, but that's part of the job. And that's a dirty location. It was a smelly place. It was a yucky place. People didn't even like walking around there. Well, I want you now to imagine Jesus's first moments as a human on this earth. Imagine Mary and Joseph. We talked about them. This is not the situation that we expected. And here they are. They're looking around their situation. They're not surrounded by loved ones. They're not surrounded by other people. There's shepherds coming in. They're like, who are these? And what's going on? This is not the situation that we envisioned when we had heard about us having the Son of God. And this is not the place either. I mean, we're in a stable, in a barn. They just shooed away the cattle and the livestock that were there. The cows are moving on the side. There's a donkey eoring over there. There's some sheep. There's some goats. There's some cattle dogs as well. And they're thinking like, what place is this? Where are we? Jesus is there, born in a manger, in a feeding trough where animals eat. And they just dust it off a little bit, clean it up a bit, and that's where Jesus is laying near hay and poop. And I'm sure Mary and Joseph are thinking, wow, this is probably the worst place to have a baby at this moment. I mean, if you're a nurse or doctor, you're thinking about all the infections that can come about with all this dirty manure and uncleanliness environment. This place is not what I expected. When I thought about having Jesus, I'm sure Joseph and Mary are thinking that. And you can think, and you're like, man, this is a crazy reality that Jesus was born into, that the place that he was actually born into was not a perfect and ideal location. Like many of us, maybe the place that we are located in at this moment is not a perfect and kosher and ideal place. Maybe you're looking around and saying, God, what is going on? The place that I'm in today does not seem to reflect the promises you have given to me of where I would be. Maybe you're asking yourself, well, what do you do when the place you thought you would be at by now is not where you are now? When you feel like you're stuck in the same old spot as before? God, I thought I would have advanced, I would have moved forward, but the place I'm in seems to be the same place I've been before, and I want to get out of here. Maybe you thought you would have gotten a new job during 2020, or you would have moved to a new city, or you would have been at a new place, a new situation and location, but then COVID hit, and all your plans were just thrown out of the window. Your job got canceled, your new promotion didn't fell through, the city you were going to locked down, or even your wedding, as we had a couple at our church, your wedding program, your wedding planning was just thrown out of sorts, and you had to do a virtual wedding, which, praise God, you were able to save some money. But still, the whole plans and visions of what the place of your wedding, of the situation would have been like, is thrown out. And here you are thinking, now what? The place I'm in, God, does not reflect what I thought I would be at. And I'm sure Mary and Joseph continue to sit on that. And the shepherds show up and they're like, man, this is not a place for a king. Yet here is Jesus lying in a manger, in a filthy, dirty place. Literally, the image of Jesus shows us what he came to do and through the gospel, that Jesus was not afraid to get into our mess, into our place, and be present, to show up to an unfavorable place for him. And so I want to challenge you and ask you to just try these things, right? When you're thinking about the place that you are in, whether that be a physical place or a more metaphorical place and location that you are in your life at this moment, in your journey, I want you to embrace the place. If you were in that manger with Mary and Joseph, I would have imagined that they looked around and just said, hey, okay, we're here. There was no other room. There's no other house. There's no other place. Let's just make it as cozy and comfortable as we can for this moment, because at least we know that Jesus is here. He's born. He's alive. He's well. And we have each other. The place around us is not ideal. It's not what I expected, but we're doing well. And I want you to try a new way of seeing the place you're in. I want you to look around with your metaphorical eyes, or even in the place that you're in, and say, man, you know what? It could be worse. And maybe it couldn't. Maybe you're at the worst place possible. But I still want you to try a new way of seeing the place that you are in. Because if God has you there, then it's for a purpose. It's not that he puts you there. It's that he's using the situation and the place that you are in. And so I want you to try to seek to find what that purpose is. God, why am I in a stable, in a barn? God, why were they not enough places or locations or rooms in an inn for your son to be born? Why? I want you to try to seek what that purpose is. What is it? Why is it that you feel that you are in a stable when there are so many rooms over there, but it seems that you're stuck in this place? Sometimes our plans are thrown out of whack, but God can still use our location to accomplish something great. God can still use that stinky barn, that stinky situation that you are in, that messy place that you are in, for his glory. So I don't want you to don't look at how dirty or messed up your current place and location is, but look at the reality that Jesus is there with you. Despite how dirty and smelly the barn and stable was where Jesus was born, Jesus was born. He was there. So I want you to pray these prayers here. I want you to first pray that God uses your location to build you up and grow you. That as you look around and as you seek his purpose, you may realize that he wants to build you up, that he wants to grow you up as well. And secondly, I want you to pray that in your location, you can be a blessing to others. I'm sure Joseph and Mary are there, and they probably started maybe to feed the donkeys or feed the cattle or play with the dog or the roosters and chickens that were there. Jesus too maybe was just, as a little baby, just, crying a little bit and seeing the little animals there. I want you to try to be a blessing in your place and location. Pray that God gives you that ability. It's not out of our own strength that we can do this. It is only by God's mercy and grace that we are able to look past our situation and the place that we are in and look to helping and blessing others. And lastly, pray that God gives you the strength and wisdom to understand that whatever next year's place or location is for you, that you are right where God can use you to bless others. You see, 2021 may be better, may be worse. You may be in a better location or place, or you may be in a worse place or location. But if we begin to establish these habits of looking for the good and the bad, of looking to bless others in the situation and place that we are in, then 2021 will be a better year for us. So I invite you to pray those prayers, that God use your location to build you up and grow you, that God may use your location to be a blessing to others, and that God may give you the wisdom and the strength to understand that whatever happens next year, you are right where God needs you to be and wants you to be and can use you to be a blessing to others. I hope you're blessed, and we'll see you next time.